Today we are going to be visiting with leprechauns. And as you know, I posted it and we talked about it. So I did this journey to 5 different leprechaun families a couple years ago. So I'm going to be revisiting them. And I came up with my own inspired questions that are kind of a part of the theme, very leprechaun-y type questions. Um, so we're going to start with these Leinster leprechauns, and hopefully I'm pronouncing, I should have checked. Said, okay, is that does it like sound the way that it looks? Well, I'm just going to pronounce it the way that it looks to me. So Leinster leprechauns. So I'm going to be asking them, how do we work with leprechauns? Like, how do we work with you? Talk to me. Ulster leprechauns. So do leprechauns give us good luck? Because leprechauns, you catch a leprechaun and then what do you do with them? Now I have a leprechaun. Is that a good luck thing? You know, so I want to know more about this. So Meath leprechauns, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. What does this mean to you? A very leprechaun-y question, but I think there's something deep and profound that we can discover and what echoes back when we ask these questions, Connaught leprechauns, the magic of four-leaf clovers. Tell us more. Munster leprechauns. If you could offer advice for human beings, what would it be? All right, all right. So I am snuggling in for this because more than likely this is going to be a longer energy activation. So one thing I wanted to mention too about energy activation. So what is an energy activation? It's an opportunity to shift your frequency. So let's say that we're in the zone with, I don't know, like maybe our mind has been circulating around this topic and we're thinking about day-to-day life stuff and maybe it's pulling us down. So an energy activation isn't just like I'm activated, I'm alive now. It's like it's activating me to enter into a frequency of another kind. So we're going to be entering into the leprechaun frequency, right? And the way that they want to answer their questions is going to be gifting us with a shift in our frequency. So I'm wanting this to be very uplifting, fun, magical, um, innocent, childlike, because I always love leprechauns. And so this is like really fun for me to do this with all of you. And okay, so Leinster, let's get down to business here. Leinster leprechauns. How do we work with leprechauns? Okay. Question number one. Okay, so this is probably going to be a little bit longer than our usual 15 to 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm just it's interesting because the starting point, I'm sitting down and I hear a stream of water, and I'm sitting down on a large rock, a very large rock, okay? And I can comfortably sit down on this rock. I'm right next to a stream of water in the forest. And I'm not looking for anything. I'm just present with nature. And my frequency is shifting, and I seem to be wafting it around, like expanding it out beyond myself. Now, part of the theme for this month too is we're going to be exploring what an aura is and how to touch an aura and shift the frequency of an aura. And so I'm inspired to be aware of my own aura and then expand my aura out, like outstretched arms. But this is just a big energy that I am. I'm just expanding my energy because my energy can be the size of the universe because I am of the fabric of the universe. Maybe I'm not as a human being. I feel like I'm contained in this capsule here of a body, but my energy is vast, right? And these are called the Leinster leprechauns, right? Yes. I'm patiently waiting. I'm starting to realize this entire introduction is their answer to the question. Enter into nature. Step one to working with leprechauns. Once you're in nature, don't look for leprechauns. Just be present with the nature. Find a nice, comfortable place to sit, which you wouldn't think sitting on a rock would be comfortable, but this works. I like the peacefulness of this location. Relax. Tune into your own essence, really. Just be aware of yourself. This is like I'm an electric being. I'm a living being. It's a living energy that I am. And this living energy is how I express myself, not in language, but just in the essence, in the frequency of what I am, is my aura and my soul. So I'm just allowing it to stretch out across this forest. Okay, there's a voice in this Leinster leprechaun family. Because it's not about seeing them, touching them, or taking them. It's about an awareness of them. It's like an awareness of God's existence, an awareness of angels. It's an awareness of leprechauns. This isn't meant to be stressful either, because this voice is showing me how kind the presence of leprechauns is. There is this sense of like the timid squirrel, but if your energy is open, if your energy seeks the presence of leprechauns, if your energy is not wanting to create harm, is out of curiosity and love, and the presence of leprechauns is with you. As I'm asking this one about, well, what if you live in a city and there isn't really this kind of natural forest, but like maybe a man-made park nearby? I could already tell what the answer is. It's encouraging us to welcome nature into our homes, welcome nature into our bodies, welcome nature in, no matter where you are. You first start by welcoming nature in, expanding out your energy and being open to leprechauns with curiosity and love. This isn't like, oh, I want to talk to God and I am who I am. I want to talk to leprechauns. I am who I am. There's something really kind about making it sacred, making it a sacred event. Like I am consciously choosing to do this, and I am preparing myself for this exchange out of love for these beings, you know? It's like you go on a date, you just roll out of bed and your hair's all over the place and you're wearing your pajamas to a nice restaurant. It's like there's a courtesy here. I'm gonna get cleaned up. I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna sit down and welcome in nature. There's a reason why that sensation is being presented by the Leinster leprechauns. Because you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it out of love and respect for yourself. And then it is an additional kindness and courtesy for how you love and respect their presence. It's like treating this like a first date. I don't feel like you have to be put together to talk to these leprechauns. You have to be perfect because they're really adamant about this is not a stressful experience. But they're throwing that in there because it's worth thinking about the value of yourself. the value of your self-expression, the value of self-love. Because it that you're doing it for them, or they are inspiring you to do this for yourself because your love for yourself is important to leprechauns. Man, I tell you what, I feel the sound of music. And as I'm just sitting here now, I'm in some apartment in a city and I'm clean and refreshed and welcoming in the leprechauns. This is the Leinster leprechaun family. I start to hear music, and the music makes me feel silly, like laughing. It makes me feel like a kid again. Like I could imagine, I could pretend that there's this lineup of leprechauns that are this sort of conga line where you have the Pied Piper leprechaun up front, and they're all just following each other's lead, doing this funny dance as they're walking around your house. And I'm choosing to welcome this image into my own home, and you too can welcome this image into your own home, welcoming the leprechauns into your life. This is a shared love. This is a kindness. It seems to me they care more about our well-being. And it's not about us caring about theirs, but it does matter. I mean, why wouldn't it be us caring about theirs? Because that's what a balanced relationship looks like. But they really want us to love ourselves and keep that love high, vibing high, and how we interact with the outside world, other human beings, leprechauns, animals, anything. There's a certain polished presentation about it, and it's very clean. I'm just inhaling and exhaling the sound of this music, these silly leprechauns in the conga line. I see them all over my home. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah. They're like leprechauns. It's really cute. This line could be as long as I want. There could be a million leprechauns here. I'm starting to see millions. I'm like, oh man, this is too much. I was like, no, it's not. More, more leprechauns. It's like now I'm in this big kind of pile up of leprechauns and we're all laughing. And I'm just rolling around and like nobody's getting hurt here, but I'm just like rolling in piles, like piles of leaves, but it's like piles and piles of leprechauns everywhere. They're all squishy. They're like squishy materials. And they're all giggling and laughing with me. And I say, wow, this is wonderful. This is fantastic. Like nobody has to get hurt. I can roll all over you and I'm not squishing you. This makes me feel happy. There's this picture that comes with leprechauns and one of those claw machines. And then there's all these leprechauns in this claw machine. And I'm trying to pick out my favorite leprechaun. And we're all laughing together. As it's not about which one's my favorite. I can't tell. I love them all. It's like I'm going to put as much money as I can into this machine until I get all you leprechauns. Huh, that's such a weird feeling. I suddenly stop and I say, I don't like this. Like, I don't like seeing you in a contained space with a strange claw coming down to pick you out, each one at a time. Like I have to have you or own you. And I'm putting all this money, like I'm giving so much in order to take. And I tell them that that image just, it really like, it's unsettled. I feel unsettled about it. Like that just happened. It went from something silly and funny to something serious. I say, I don't want any of you to be contained. And I don't want any kind of weird claw to come down and try to pick you out. I don't, There are more serious conversations to be had about leprechauns. But for now, this inhaling and exhaling nature, no matter where you are, loving yourself enough to spiffen up, polish up for your first date, like every day of life, treat it as your first date. And welcome in the leprechauns, and they'll be so happy to see you taking care of yourself the way they would want you to. Their joy, their happiness, their music. And this can be fun, and nobody has to get hurt. I feel that's important to me. Then the leprechauns aren't ever hurt. I don't want them to ever be hurt. It's a thing, like there's a real thing inside of me that keeps saying that. So I'm gonna let that be what it is. And let's see what comes next from the Ulster leprechauns. Do leprechauns give us good luck? Okay. I hug all these Leinster leprechauns and I thank them. And I cannot remember these names. Come on now, Abbey. Ulster. Ulster leprechauns. Okay. Do leprechauns give us good luck? These Ulster leprechauns are meeting me where I left off with these Leinster leprechauns. And they all specifically present themselves with orange beards. None of them have like clean shaven faces. They all have orange beards. And they're on the outside of this claw machine, which is literally just a fun little kids game, right? I put a quarter in and then maybe I'll get something. Maybe I won't. Maybe this claw machine won't work. It's rigged. These Ulster leprechauns hear me in this place where I'm concerned about the well-being of leprechauns. But they can't be the ones to fix that. They tell me that it's like it's still the same playful meaning. How do you shift from feeling sad and confused to it's still the same meaning, it's still the same playful image? Like, what happened there? What kind of blip did I fall into? Nobody was taking it seriously but me. I went there with it. The Ulster leprechauns shift the energy and they start playing this claw machine to go pick out their family. Picking out their family members. They're all working together as a team. Gotcha, gotcha. And they're all like, "Woo," they go pick up and then they fall through the chute and they come on out and it's really funny. And I laugh and I say, oh, that makes me feel a lot better. I ask him, are you lucky? Are leprechauns good luck? Oh man, this whole scene is changing. All right, I'm sitting down by a pond and it's quite shallow. And I'm looking at my reflection, and then I hear my voice say, I want, I want, I want. I just keep saying, I want. And I have a finger that stirs up this pond. And from this water, I expect from the reflection of what I want to then materialize into my world. And the things we want are good things, right? We don't want to catch the Black Plague and die. We don't want to accidentally step on a rusty nail. We don't want, I don't know, to get electrocuted. It's like we don't want these things. We want nice, good things, right? But what's interesting, these Ulster leprechauns say how many people say, I want a leprechaun. And I'm like, whoa, oh, wow. I've never said I want a leprechaun. I've always said, where are those leprechauns? I want to see. Maybe I want to see a leprechaun. I know I've said that before. It wasn't like I want a leprechaun. Seems possessive. It just, I want to see one. I want to talk to one, you know? So I look into this shallow pond. Shallow is a word here because then maybe wanting things is a deep thing. Or maybe it's a shallow thing. I don't know. But I'm looking at my reflection and I'm stirring up this pond, like I'm having this magical experience, and I say, I want a leprechaun. And whoa, from out of this water appears a leprechaun. Like the water just gave birth to what I wanted. And I have it in my hand. And now the question is, what do you want to do with a leprechaun? Oh, I will pet it and I will feed it and I will love it and I will keep it. I'm not sure. The Ulster Leprechaun fills in the blanks and says you want it's almost like three wishes or you want good luck like the I found the magical lamp now I can rub the lamp to get the genie and now I have my three wishes like you want to catch a leprechaun so that you can catch the good luck you can catch the wishes and this is actually quite exciting for these Ulster leprechauns because now that I've caught a leprechaun I didn't catch it it was like given to me I was gifted what I wanted. And what's interesting is they're whispering about how I wanted a leprechaun deep down inside. Then I wanted to explore leprechauns here on Patreon. It's interesting because it wasn't in my conscious awareness that I wanted that. But deep down inside, I wanted a leprechaun and I wanted good luck. And the Ulster leprechauns are excited to support me in getting what I want. It's like, oh, wow, I'm like kind of mesmerized and confused, but this is great. Like I'm kind of dumbfounded, you know? I want a leprechaun and then I got a leprechaun and I want good luck. That's why I wanted a leprechaun. Therefore, the answer is yes, leprechauns are good luck. They insist that leprechauns are not bad luck. If you have a leprechaun, like you want a leprechaun, you get a leprechaun, that is not a bad luck event. And they're very against any representation of leprechauns being bad luck. They do not like that. Like they don't like that energy. They don't want to associate with that energy. They are very all about, we want to help you get the things that make you smile. We want to help you find happiness. We want to help you, like they want to help you manifest the things that you want because it gives you the life you want to live. Like you thought about that because you wanted that. Let's see what we can do to get you what you want. Like that literally is what they're saying. Therefore, I want good luck. And this is for us to also say if that's what you want. And it's instantaneous. Like it's not all that hard. I'm literally looking in my imagination at a shallow pond, stirring up the shallow pond. I say I want a leprechaun. Bam, I got a leprechaun. And with the leprechaun comes good luck and they really proud of that, like they're very proud of that they are good luck, don't say it otherwise, it's rude. Okay, they're kind of like, don't say it otherwise. Okay, leprechauns are good luck and they're proud of that and they want to give me good luck. Oh, it's just the same thing as like the Leinsters were saying. You want the leprechauns in your life so you clean yourself up because we want to see you take care of yourself, and then you welcome us into your life, into your heart. We're there with you, just like you want to welcome God or an angel or Jesus or whatever. You want to welcome that into your life, they're present with you instantly. And so here I want a leprechaun, that I want good luck, and that I'm gifted that's an automatic guarantee. And so us welcoming the leprechauns in is welcoming in good luck. So, okay, that man, I want to hang out with these guys for a long time, but I got to keep moving. Meath leprechauns. Okay. Oh, wait. I got to find out what's my question for them. Okay. Oh, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. What does this mean to you? Okay, Meath leprechauns. Man, it's really hard to say goodbye to these Ulsters. It's like it's hard to say goodbye. Meath leprechauns. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. What does that mean to you? So different. I feel so different right now. They're talking like they are absolutely present and having a conversation with me, and I have no idea what they're saying. But I feel like they're slowly, like I'm being, I don't know, I got a harness on and they're slowly lowering me down to the ground. They start to whisper, we do not hurt human beings. We do not hurt human beings. And they're very gentle. And once I feel my feet on the ground, they give me a little bit of give because I bend my knees and then they release the harness and I'm standing up. And I was they safely helped me put my feet on the ground. That's a big deal. It's interesting because there's another picture of leprechauns and gift giving, like literal presents wrapped, opening up, and there's another gift inside. And suddenly I'm being gifted all this jewelry. And it's kind of cute because this is like a necklace that has a shamrock on it. And that's one of my questions too, is what's that shamrock mean to you? But this is about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Leprechauns do not hurt human beings. And then it's another gift and another gift. They don't, in this experience, in this message, that's like this is not a sensation of greed or hollowness, like I need more wealth, more money, more jewelry, more. It's not like that. It's almost like snap their fingers here. And they're tricky because the more you want, you will only give yourself life lessons. They show me a picture of a man who just keeps wanting more. Once upon a time, there was a man who kept wanting more, and so we gave him everything he wanted until he was buried underneath everything. He wanted more. He wanted more. So we just kept giving him more. And now he is buried underneath everything. Like they keep showing me this. Like, it's like, wow, he wanted another thing, another thing. It's like, and now he wants a car and blah. Like, but it like fills up this room, it fills up this house, it fills up his whole world to the point that he's buried underneath all of this stuff. And he just wanted and wanted and wanted, but he didn't want to build a relationship with what he was given. But they don't feel anything about that. They just honor what it is that you want. That's what the energy's like. That's how they're answering this. Okay, so what is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow represent? Like, what's the parallel here? I feel strange I want to ask for something. Like I don't want to I don't know why I feel uncomfortable wanting to ask them for something. Like it's a worth issue. Like I'm not worthy is what it feels like. And I get the courage and I say I want a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I want that. And it's interesting because it's not like I'm teleported to a rainbow with a pot of gold, or a rainbow and a pot of gold is just like snap the fingers and bam, it's in my world. And so finding what it is that you want, and there's magic behind it. There's a riddle, there's a story. It's interesting because it's as simple as I want a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like I want that. It's as simple as that, okay? But it's more complicated because of the depth of what it is that I actually am seeking. So my mind says, okay, I want that simple. That is a big request, but I'm not going to say it's a big request. It's a simple request. But what is presented to me it translates differently in the energy world. It would be something akin to I want to find myself, you know, like I've decided that I am the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but if I can never find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, how will I ever find myself? So there's some weird deep parallel here. It's not just pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because something inside myself has decided that transaction is zero, but the real wealth comes from the soul. So it's hard for me to ask for something like that. I want to challenge myself. I want to challenge myself. I'm talking to these Meath leprechauns. Yes. And this is for you guys too. So why don't we all ask for this, right? I want to legit, like I want, and I'm choosing to see that in just the most simplest way. And then I see myself with a rainbow and a pot of gold. And it doesn't have to be that deep. It doesn't have to be. And then it's interesting because, okay, if you want that, then what do you want with, if you want a pot of gold, you want to buy things, right? And so what do you want to buy? Oh, so they're basically saying it's all the same thing. You want a leprechaun, then you want good luck. We pride ourselves in being a representation of good luck. We give you what you want. If you keep wanting and wanting and wanting, you might just bury yourself underneath everything you wanted. Um, so there's more to it. There's a bit of a tricksy riddle to it, but it's good. It's really healthy. So we need to ask ourselves, if we want a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, it's not just to have like this cool pot of gold, like, hey guys, here's my house. I got this cool painting here. I got this couch, and then there's my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's like you don't just put that as like an object on display or something. No, you use it, right? And so people seek to use that object. And so the question is, what do you want to buy with it? And so to open up, like these are beings of good luck. These are beings of gifts, even material gifts. Okay. So these are beings where you ask for something and they get that something for you. And to give that to yourself, then they want you to be happy. Like they want you to be clean and take care of yourself. They want these positive things for you. That is really freaking cool. Okay, okay. Connaught leprechauns. The magic of four-leaf clovers. Tell us more. Okay. Man, this is so great. Connaught leprechauns. Can you tell me more about this four-leaf clover? What does this represent? Oh, this is magical too. It's interesting because a three-leaf clover is one thing, a four-leaf clover is another. And there's a lot to the power of the number three. But there's something special to the human spirit when it sees the balance of the four-leaf clover. It represents balance. And I will say that the four-leaf clover speaks a message about balance. That if you spend your time and you find a four-leaf clover, you have found balance, the most precious of gifts. This is like, here's you got your classic three-leaf clovers, thousands of them is sitting in this patch of three-leaf clovers, and I sat there for hours and oh my gosh, I found a four-leaf clover. You know what? They're also talking to me about a human being taking the time to sift through the clovers to find the most precious of them all. And they're basking in the light of this human being taking the time to connect with nature, taking the time to seek for something special for themselves, finding that special something and giving it to themselves, and feeling lucky today. And they weep a tear because the time and the energy to seek good luck, then to feel as though you've got it, you got good luck. It's a precious event. And it speaks to them because they're all about good luck. They're all about being found. They're all about gifting you what you want without a second thought. They're all about magic of manifesting, literally. They give me a four-leaf clover, but it's from a memory because I used to look for four-leaf clovers. Like I would spend time at recess in the grass, okay? Looking for four-leaf. I would just do this. I didn't care if there was anyone to play with or not. This was something that just I would spend time doing this. And it was so, so special when I would find one. And they're giving me a four-leaf clover from one of my very memories. And it's really, really precious to my heart. It gives me a link to my childlike self. What I was willing to do with my time to find something I wanted, to find something that meant something to me and made me glow. That was more important than anything else in the whole world at the time. It was finding a four-leaf clover. They're basking in this memory. They're basking in the energy of it because it's so sweet and innocent and sincere and celebrated. You know, when you find that four-leaf clover, it makes you feel like you got good luck, you got it. And these Ulster leprechauns are telling me that I've got the four-leaf clover. I've got it. And it's for all of us, right? To reflect on this conversation and to want a four-leaf clover is now given, okay? Like you want it, you get it. This is pretty meaningful, man. All right. All right, here we go. Munster leprechaun. I remember these Munster leprechauns were the ones that presented themselves as having a more of a difficult history. And I'm curious, they were all lighthearted except the Munster leprechauns, which I find peculiar, especially when they're talking about we pride ourselves on being good luck. Like, how dare you think less of us? No, we are not a curse. We're not bad luck. We are good luck. You know, that is who we are. It is rude to say otherwise, right? But these Munster leprechauns, they had a different vibe to them, you know? So I'm asking this question. If you could offer advice for human beings, what would it be? And let's see what they have to say, shall we? Okay. That's really hard to like I'm telling all the leprechauns that like this has been wonderful for me. This has been just like a special treat. And I'm looking at the monsters and I'm welcoming them into my heart. And I ask them if there's any advice you could offer us, what would it be? They're kind of like they show me an apple And I've had this experience because I used to climb trees and I used to pick apples off the tree and I'd eat apples from the tree. And so I've had the experience where you bite into an apple and then you're like, oh, what is this? There's a hole in it and there's like a little worm inside. And it's like, oh, like, yeah, this is disturbing. It happens, okay? That they're showing me a perfect red apple and you don't even notice this little flaw and you just bite right into it and thank God you didn't bite through the worm. There it is, like wriggling. Oh. And then they show me what it's like to be a worm and to have a home made out of food. I'm like, oh, my food home. Oh, it's wonderful in here. It's really nice. I never thought of it like that. Oh, it's scary when the unexpected happens and now you've got some chompers and it nearly ended your life. And we live in two different worlds. The worm in its worm home and me, the child, just eating an apple. Two different realities. It's like two different universes, even if we share the same one. The Munster leprechauns, but there's this one that tells me that I was angry at the worm for being in there. I was angry that it found a habitat in the apple I chose. I was angry at it. Like I was violated by it. And they're talking about how it's hard for us to see the other side of the story. It's just simply hard for us because the other side of the story is this worm is just faced a almost dying, Its home was literally just chewed up, apple getting thrown on the ground and child spitting and making noises. Like it's horrifying. But the worm must go on. But the child remembers for a very long time, doesn't forget. But the worm will come and go and shows me that this worm is going to appear to be the same worm year after year after year, even if it is generations old. Like it is the newest of all the generations. It's still the same old worm in the apple. And they're talking about how do you reconcile relationships when you don't really understand the relationship. You can't understand it. You can't. There's no disappointment in us for not being able to understand. We literally can't. They already know that about us. Even those who try to put themselves in other people's shoes can't fully comprehend it. We can't even comprehend ourselves fully, right? And a lot of the time we feel it was done to us. It was an event that happened to us. And we were wrongly violated by that event. And we remember it for years and years and years. And while change has happened, it's still the same old worm. We don't conceive of the life of the worm or the many generations that have come from that worm or the event, or it's like it's just that one memory. It's just that yucky worm in my apple, This is hard on my heart, I say. It's hard on my heart. I feel like it's why I have that weird feeling about I don't want anything bad to ever happen to leprechauns, but I sure didn't care about that worm. I was angry. Yeah, I did not care about that worm for sure. And I can't seem to care about every single thing. And when I'm confronted by it, there's a pause right now. There is a conversation. I have no idea what it's about. I want to say that it partially reminds me of is the worm yucky or is the worm beautiful? And I say it's yucky. It is disgusting. It is gross. I mean, it grosses me out. Now, if it was an earthworm, fine. If it's a worm that eats apples, disgusting. I can't help it. But all this is doing is continuing to prove the point that you could say, as a human being, we are flawed to deeply love everything. We can't deeply love everything. And we are grossed out by things that aren't actually gross. And you know what? In this moment, when I'm trying to come into like in alignment, like I appreciate this message. They're giving me a big hug. And they say that it's okay. It's okay to be just the way you are. And they say that it's okay because we understand the way humans are. And they play that repeat, and it was one of those leprechaun families that had said, no, we don't hurt humans. We don't hurt humans. Even if humans are yucky. But the leprechauns can see. The leprechauns can tell. And I'm being taken back to this once upon a time, he asked, we gave. He found his happiness in receiving things until the day he died. And he received then his death. That it doesn't there's nothing about that as impure or devious. Because they remind me of sometimes we want something, but we don't know what we really want deep down inside. We think we want that. Or I didn't realize that I wanted a leprechaun. I didn't, that just seems so strange to me. And I wanted good luck. It just seems so strange to me. That I wanted to ask for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and I wanted the four-leaf clover, and I wanted the leprechauns in my life. I wanted that. That seems like so foreign because I was just thinking of something fun, right? That we could share, and it's spring and March and St. Patty's Day and all that. It gets me thinking about leprechauns, and in my adult way, that's how I translated it, but I didn't know that deep down inside I truly authentically wanted this. And it's just a beautiful gift to be told that, to feel that. And I asked them, so what is the advice then? With the worm and the yucky, and those worms okay, that kind of worm yuck. Like I'm kind of born to dislike things and to like other things, and it's just the way we are as human beings. Yeah, so what's the advice? These, this one smiles and says, well, maybe think about the worm that's living in the apple home next time. It's like, just think about that. Why don't you? I was like, oh, it's like, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Well, okay. Oh, I never even thought of it like that. I give all these leprechauns a big hug and I thank them so much. I'm definitely going to be enjoying this month with leprechauns, and I'm just going to keep it going for as long as I guess I want to. And I have a feeling this is going to be a long-lasting inspiration. Alrighty then. Well, we did it. We found our way through. I never read this intention. I welcome an awakening, an opening of my heart to the wisdom of the leprechauns, these beings of nature who share their earth life with mine. May we all be blessed. And there you go. Now, before I close out on this, I have to say this because it always happens. We've got the spring ahead happening on Sunday. So tomorrow, Yukon time is the same. But starting next week, Yukon time is going to shift only if your time zone changes. Okay. So usually the world is changing their time zone for spring ahead, but we don't. And so we are like turning into Pacific time zone where we have been like mountain time zone based upon how all the time zones have changed. So we stay the same. Everybody else changes, but then we actually seem to go back in time. Anyway, or you everybody goes forward. I don't know, man. But that's what happens. Anyway, so glad I got to share this experience with you. Oh man, thank you so much for coming. Tomorrow we have mini readings, you know, and I believe this is the aura ones. Do I have the, oh, shoot. Let me see if I can find it. Just to reference it, you know, it's probably a good idea. Oh, come on, man. I'm pretty sure it's an aura frequency good luck event, okay? But the reminder will be posting, so keep an eye out for that. All right, that's what I have to say. Isaiah, you say beautiful readings. Abby, thank you. And thank you for the time zone reminder. Yes, yes. You're gonna be on top of it. So just like click that link just to make sure that okay, if it's gonna be at 10 o'clock Yukon time, then okay, there it's 10 o'clock in the Yukon. So now I'm gonna join. So that's how it's gonna be. So we're actually gonna be 2 hours difference instead of one, Isaiah, because you're central time. So yes. All right. Well, big hugs. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Isaiah. So wonderful to share this time with you. Okay. Have a beautiful day, and maybe I'll get to see you tomorrow. All right. Bye for now.